Hi there, it's Adam here from One-to-One English Online. Quick video for all those parents out there who've got a child who is a reluctant reader. I get a lot of calls and emails from parents who say that they can't get their child to read, or maybe they read a little bit but they feel like they should be reading more. And I always think to myself, great, I'm so pleased that somebody's approached me with this, because it means that the parent realizes just how important reading is. I'll let you into a secret. I've been teaching for more than 20 years, and I don't think I've ever had a high achieving student, A star, A, at that top end, who didn't enjoy reading. Not just who read, but who actually enjoyed reading. It makes such a difference, because it feeds into every aspect of English use. So we have to work on this. We have to try and find a way to get our kids reading. And I've put my thinking cap on. I've come up with looking at the ways over the years that I've encouraged kids to read. And it isn't just a case of forcing them. You can't say, you've got to do it, you've got to do it. That doesn't work. They've got too many distractions. There's computer games, there's sports, playing with their friends, all that really good stuff, and you can't blame them. But anyway, here is my 3-point plan, which hopefully will help you to engage your children in reading more and enjoying it. This is easy for people who are really passionate about reading and literature already, because we know that you get into a bookshop, you can lose yourself in there for hours, because you know that behind each one of those covers is potentially an exciting journey, a story that could almost literally change your life. It's fantastic. But if you have a mindset already of thinking, oh, books are dull and boring, you're not going to automatically have that. And I think that if you can instill that into your child, or let them find it for themselves, I think that's immediately a barrier that's gone. So treat it as a journey of discovery. Have fun with the browsing process of choosing their book. Let them choose something that they're going to enjoy, or they're going to be immediately attracted to, but also encouraging them to think, right, okay, what can we find that's new, that's exciting? Because the other question is real books or online ebooks. And both of them can be equally exciting. I'm a bit of an old-fashioned traditionalist. You can see behind me, I love books. I love the physical business of having the book there and the rest of it. But that doesn't mean that you can't have just as much of a enjoyment by reading an ebook. And I think that either go along to somewhere like Waterstones, find your local Waterstones, go in there and make it a fun day, a fun afternoon. Maybe you have a budget in your mind and say, right, okay, you can go and you can pick, 3 books up to a certain amount or whatever. Decide what you're going to do and make it a journey of fun like that, and enjoy the browsing there. They set themselves out really well in places like Waterstones, and they're really helpful and encouraging especially to encourage young readers. So that's great. Or get online and have a look at the websites of the publishers of young people's books. One that I really like is Oxford Owl. That's a very good interactive site, and a lot of free books on there. So if you want to just dip your toe in and just have a look at some different books and maybe pick out authors that you think that your child might engage with, that's a really good place to make it interactive. We're in this era now of everything being about interactivity. It's not just about going and seeing a movie anymore. It's all about the tie-in. It's in the whole world that surrounds that movie. It's kids that are going to go on to play the computer game. In my day, we would come away from a movie and we would be enacting the story in the street, we'd be going and playing out, and we would be those characters. So that kind of spirit of what makes a book exciting is what you really should be aiming for, I think, to try and get that whole reading process being something that's exciting. In the classroom, when I'm teaching, we call it a class reader. We start a new book, and the first thing we do is we do some simple activities that are almost introducing the book to the child before we start reading the book. So we might take a look at the cover. We might ask them questions like, what does that cover make you think about? What's the title suggest it could be? Same on the back cover, the little bit of blurb on the back there. What are your expectations? What do you think it's going to be about? And already before they've even started the book, we were getting things like designing an alternative book cover maybe, or getting them to sort of create maybe a diary of the different characters in the book. So there are various activities that we do in the classroom to bring that book to life, to make it feel like they almost know the characters, they're interacting with those characters. It's not just simply the words on the page. The third bit of advice I'd give, and I think in many ways this could well be the most important, and it's something that I try and apply right the way through all of my tutoring, all my experience with learners, and that is to let them have confidence in what they're doing. Be quick to praise them with the reading. You know, don't be over the top about it, obviously, but if they're reading quite often, comment, you know, oh, that's great, I'm glad to see that you're enjoying that book, and ask them about it, engage with them about it. But also to give them ownership of the experience of reading. Read with them, and then when they're good, give them praise and build the confidence, because there's nothing better to encourage somebody than for them to feel they can be confident and they feel like they're good at that thing. And never be shy to give praise. Never, even it can be the smallest, slightest little compliment, and it can make a world of difference. And in the same way, obviously, the small, what seems to be the smallest criticism can knock somebody back, you know, for good. So, you know, obviously not to be making comments like, oh, you know, he's a bit geeky, it's a bit nerdy, he's got a book again, and that kind of thing. No, got the other way around, you know, oh, you know, tell me some words that you've learned from the book. What's the character about? What's going on? Show an interest in what they're reading. Try and engage and interact. And then make them the expert with that book. So you're listening to what they're saying. They're going to build confidence in that. And then the more that happens, the more they're going to want to read, the more that they're going to engage with the process. And it's not going to be that stigmatized thing in their mind of thinking that it's something that, you know, might be a little bit nerdy or a bit geeky or something like that. No, it's going to be something that is, they can feel proud of. They can feel this is part of my identity, and it's something that you know, that I'm good at and that I'm bossing. So building confidence, very, very important, not just with reading, but all aspects of learning, but certainly in this case. Lastly, what I would say is, as a kind of bonus thing, why not interact with other parents? Have a look online in parent sites, Facebook groups, or even just, you know, at the school gate, just chatting with the other parents and say, you know, share recommendations in the same way that adults often have a book club. I'm not saying that kids would have a book club, but they might. You might form a little book club if you've got enough kids that have got the same interest and the same kind of reading interest, then that'd be a great way of interacting and doing it. But, you know, share good books. Say, hey, you know, this one, they really love this one. This one went down really well. Maybe not so much this one. And then, you know, share the good tips and recommendations, and, you know, work on that. That's also a good way, I think, of, you know, same as we would do as adults. You know, we've read a good book, tell our friends. So exactly the same way. Okay, so I hope that these suggestions have been useful and helpful. I do loads of one-to-one tutoring lessons with students where we are concentrating just on reading. And it's not always that they're not good readers. It's that they just have this kind of mindset. And as I said at the beginning, parents will often come to me and say, can you get them reading more? And I go, yes, of course I can. I'm passionate about reading. I love reading. But I don't just expect that the learner's going to just take that enthusiasm on board. We have to take our time. It's sometimes baby steps to get them there. But honestly, it's not something to give up on. And it's so important to get them enthused early on. Get them reading. Get them using their language in a good way. And honestly, it taps in so much into all other aspects of English learning. And as I said at the beginning, I don't think I've ever had an A-star student who did not love reading. They just love reading, and that makes the world of difference. Okay, I hope this video has been useful and helpful. Please get in touch if you think that I can help you in any way at all to, with not just with reading, but with any aspect of your child's learning with English. Okay, thank you for watching.